Harsh. Morning to all our viewers as well. Just taking a quick look at the US futures before we take a look at how the US spot market closed last evening. On the back of Trump's comments that we've seen coming in, all the geopolitical pressure and all of that escalation that's at play, you've got the Dow futures lower by 0.5%, S&P futures lower by 0.6, and Nasdaq futures are already indicating a gap down open of 1% for trade of day later today. Let's also take a look at how the US markets closed last evening. A flattish moves for the Dow. S&P 500 was lower by about 0.5%, but it was Nasdaq that was heavily under pressure, a 1.5% cut coming in on the Nasdaq. Two categories of stocks that saw the biggest slumps in trade yesterday. One was the semiconductor group of stocks. You had Taiwan Semiconductors, Micron, all of them were lower in trade, and that has led to a lot of pressure on the Nasdaq. On the other side, you had a big knock coming in on Netflix as well. More or less, the numbers were in line with their estimates, the street estimates for Q2, but nonetheless, that stock has seen a downtick of about 8% in trade yesterday. So these were some of the factors at play that have kept the US markets under pressure. Because on the macro front, if you take a look at the US jobless claims data, they've come in much softer than what the street was estimating. The estimate was somewhere around 218,000. The numbers come in at 208,000. So looking good at least on that front, and on the employment front at least it's looking good for the US in terms of this weekly data that we get on the jobless claims. Later today, all eyes are going to be on the industrial production and retail sales numbers coming out of the US. So that is something that we are going to be watching out for. Shifting focus to the European market, a mixed close coming in because you've got FTSE that has closed with an uptick of 0.5%. CAC has closed flat, but DAX has seen a cut of about 0.3%. So that's how the European markets shaped up in trade yesterday. What's looking heavily under pressure and what could also influence the kind of open we see for our markets today is the Asian Open this morning, because you've got Australia that's opened 0.8% under pressure. Take a look at Nikkei. That index is lower by 4%. You've got the dollar that has once again strengthened against the yen. So you've got a lot of factors that are at play when it comes to the Asia markets. We're talking about the Nikkei, a 4.25% cut on the Nikkei as we speak. Korea, that's Kospi, seeing another 6.5% cut on open. So that is the kind of pressure that's reeling in the Asian markets right now. Hang Seng too, that has normally over the course of the week held on to some strength when the other Asian peers have been under pressure. Today is also giving in to the overall pressure. It's a 1.5% cut coming in on Shanghai and Hang Seng both. So the Asian Open looks very weak. Of course, the markets have reacted to Trump's comments, and Asia has been the first market to react to that. And we've just heard comments coming in from US President Donald Trump. Shifting focus, let's take a look at oil. More or less stable moves coming in over there. Brent is up by 1%. Similar is the move coming in for the WTI. WTI currently below $80 a barrel. 79.8 is where it is at. But Brent continues to be around $85 a barrel. When it comes to precious metals, softness over there as well. Not much has changed, but gold has fallen below that $4,000 per ounce mark. So watch out for that. And silver is also trading around 55. Nothing major over there. The US 10-year bond yield also has been more or less stable. But shifting focus then, let's also take you through some of the important global comments that we've been tracking overnight. And the first one is coming in from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She says that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon, and that is why Operation Epic Fury was launched in the first place. They have suffered devastating blows. The president is still open and willing to diplomacy. And after Operation Epic Fury, the conclusion of it, she claims that America did move to a diplomatic path, but it's Iran that actually did not want to go down that road, and they have violated the ceasefire as well. So that's the word coming in from US Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Also moving away from that, you've got Kuwait Defense Ministry, who said that Iranian aggression on Thursday targeted number of vital facilities, resulting in material damage. Air defenses are intercepting Iranian missiles and drones after a second day of attacks. Shifting focus then, we've also got word coming in from the US Central Command, wherein they're saying that Strait of Hormuz surrounding waters remain open and free, and Hormuz open except for vessels violating the US steel wall blockade launched against a new wave of strikes against Iran. Lastly, we've also got some news coming in on the visa regulations changing in the US. US Department of Homeland Security says that under the new regulations, you've got a change in visa periods for students and journalists. The visa for journalists, which currently can last years, will last up to only 240 days, and in case of Chinese nationals, only 90 days. So that's a roundup of all the global equities, commodities, and comments that we've been tracking overnight. Back to you.